Good morning again, Yellow Van fans. We are on another trip. This time we are headed out to Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park in Colorado. So we're just on our way out there, driving along Highway 6 through the canyon, which this time appears to be open. You may remember last time when I was with my dad, this road was closed, and we ended up having to take about a 2-hour detour to get around it. But today it seems to be open. Okay, so we've arrived at the Black Canyon of the Gunnison, and we have set up camp. Isla is in her new little playpen thing. Lucy's sitting in her chair, and Megan is working on making some lunch, which is going to be some quesadillas. So, things are going well so far, except that it is kind of breezy here, which will come as no surprise to those of you who watched the vlog with my dad. Every place we camp, it seems to be windy. Alright! Hopefully you can hear me through the wind. We stopped at the visitor center, got the Junior Ranger book, and figured out what we're doing. We're now going to do the Rim Rock Trail, which is just a little 1-mile trail here by the visitor center. Okay, we did our hike, and then we came back to camp. We made a fire, we cooked dinner, which was hot dogs, and now we're roasting some s'mores. Isla is having a great first camping trip. She's been very happy. Good morning again, Yellow Van fans. We had an interesting night last night. It was Isla's first time camping, and she did not like to sleep in the tent, even though she's been having a lot of fun camping otherwise. So that was kind of a rough night, but we got up this morning and we made breakfast. Megan made breakfast. Megan made pancakes, and we did that. And Lucy's been playing a little bit, and we're just getting everything ready to go. We're getting kind of a late start. Okay, so we did the Warner Point hike, which was fun. That was about 1.5 miles or so out, and we were able to go out and do that. It had some great views, and now we are just coming back along the Scenic Drive, stopping at the viewpoints and taking some pictures along here. And the rain has mostly held off. It didn't rain on us at all during our hike, which was nice, and it's just been sprinkling a little bit while we've been coming out to these viewpoints. Okay, so we just made it back to camp, and it just started pouring rain. So we just barely did the timing exactly correctly to get back to camp just before it started to rain, and now the rain is coming down. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying over it.
I don't want to say anything.
Good morning again, Yellow Van fans. We had kind of an interesting evening and night, but we didn't really pick up the camera because it was just raining. We were kind of in the car and driving around and basically just hanging out. We couldn't do much of anything, and then trying to get everybody ready for bed was quite a thing. But Isla did sleep better last night. She just woke up a couple of times, and so that was good. She had a much better night, even though it was significantly colder. And right now, Lucy and Isla and I are just on a little morning walk, but it's a little bit chilly out. The sun is coming up though, and hopefully things will warm up before we pack up camp. headed home. But on the way, we are stopping at Colorado National Monument, which is just outside of Grand Junction, Colorado. Colorado National Monument, and now we are just on our way back home. We are back in Utah now, heading back to our house. So let's talk about what we thought of Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. What do you think, Megan?
It was really cool. It was very unique, something that I hadn't really seen before.
Yeah.
Just because the canyon really was very black, and it was very vertical. Like you can very much see the vertical cliffs, which is something we're not used to seeing.
Yeah, very different canyon experience. We've been to a lot of canyon parks, national parks, national monuments, different places, but this one was very different in terms of its color and the kind of the way that it was. And it was very just sheer cliffs of an impressive scale.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like the Grand Canyon. It's not super far across, but it just drops straight down. So that was really cool. We spent all of our time on the south rim side. There is a north rim side as well, so that kind of is similar to the Grand Canyon. And then, because they're canyons, the park spans the canyon, there are two sides to it. So we did 2 hikes, and then a lot of the viewpoints, you have to do small hikes out to them. So between 200 and 600 yards. But we did 2 hikes. We did the rim trail, which went from the visitor center to the campground. And then we did the Warner Point one, which was at the end of the Scenic Drive, and you went out there. And I like both of those hikes. They're both good. They do some up and down, though. There's quite a bit of up and down. They put in stairs.
There's a lot of places.
A lot of places. So you're able to get up and down. And yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. Overall, the Scenic Drive was nice. It had lots of places you could stop. Some of them you could just get right out. You could do it in a wheelchair. But a lot of them you did have to walk out too. And there were some really just great views of the canyon and the Gunnison River coming down through it. And that really is the main thing that you do at this park. If you are more adventurous and you want to get a wilderness permit, you can do what they call the Inner Canyon. But you do need a permit for that, and it's a lot more strenuous to do. So we were not doing that. And then you can do some things like rock climbing up these sheer cliffs, but it's all trad climbing. You have to be very experienced to do it. And we didn't even see anybody climbing. I thought we might, but there were storms, obviously, and that's the other thing that happened to us on this trip was the storms that kind of stopped us from doing much in the afternoon. But we were really lucky in that we'd already done basically everything that we would have done. So it really just kind of made it difficult for us to camp. But what did you think of the campsite?
The campsite was nice.
Yeah.
They had a good, natural windbreak in the area that we were, at least. Yeah. It had a nice kind of where you set up your tent was very much off the road and kind of back farther away, so it was very quiet. We didn't hear cars or neighbors, really.
I felt like there was good spacing between campsites there. They didn't have 10 pads, they just had areas where you could set up the tent, and then they had picnic tables and fire pits.
I liked that the fire pits had high sides on them, just because it's usually so windy there, so it was nice to have kind of that higher sided. Made it harder to get warm, but it also calmed my anxious heart with my children.
Yeah. So, and we were camping with a baby. So we've talked about that before with Lucy, but this was Isla's first camping trip.
Yep.
And similar to Lucy, Isla had a rough first night.
But Lucy had a fantastic first night, which usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, Lucy slept really good. So Isla just was not happy to be in a different spot. She was really happy to be camping before she went to sleep. But while she was sleeping, she was not happy about that. And then the second night, we prepared some things differently, which we'll probably talk about at some point, I think. But she just woke up twice for short periods, and she did much better. So that was good. Yeah, that was pretty much it. What was your favorite thing of Black Canyon and Gunnison?
I don't know if I really had a favorite. I really liked the last overlook that we looked at. visitor center. I thought was really cool.
Oh, the Gunnison point. Yeah, that was cool. I really liked the painted wall overlook, and I think I was the only one who went out to that one.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. Got some cool pictures there. It's a very just kind of cool place to see the canyon in kind of a different way. So where would you put it on your national parks list?
It's not my favorite, but it's also not like my least favorite either.
It's a middle park.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I don't think we necessarily need to go back.
We did pretty much everything that we are going to do. If we went back, we'd be going to the North Room, I think. You know, to see something different than what we'd seen before. But I'd put it right in the middle too.
Also, there wasn't as much to do at like our ability level as there are at other parks.
Yeah.
And
I didn't feel like it had a lot of mid-level hikes, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
And I don't know, I feel like some of the other parks we go to, first off, are just bigger, and so there's lots of other things to see. But this, you see the canyon, and then you go see the canyon, and then you go see the canyon. And it looks very similar from a lot of the vantage points, except maybe the painted wall probably is the most different.
Very different,
It's different than the rest of the overlooks and outlooks.
And you guys saw part of the painted
Yeah, we saw
wall
part of it.
from one of the other ones.
Yeah, but you're looking at very similar things, and also, for me at least, it's at a much higher elevation. And so the first day especially, I had a lot more trouble with the elevation change, and we live at a higher altitude, so I was kind of surprised by that. But
So it's sitting right between 7,000 and 8,000 feet, about. And but I thought the scenery was awesome. So I would say that it is definitely worth going to. One thing was when we got there was like a line of cars, and we were going Memorial Day weekend, so it was kind of busier. But I think that it's seen an increase in visitors like most national parks, and I don't think they are prepared with the infrastructure necessarily. Or the staffing. Yeah, they seem to be understaffed, and they didn't have parking capacity for what was coming through.
we were always able to find parking, though.
We were lucky.
And even though it was very busy, we saw lots of cars, but I never felt that it was overly busy.
It wasn't like overly crowded any place we were
Yeah,
at.
but part of that could just be because, like, I've been to like Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon when it's been crowded before. So,
Yeah.
And so, like, nothing seems crowded, like, compared to that.
And it's definitely not like that.
Right, and it's not like that. But for being busy, I was very surprised, and very happy, like, pleasantly surprised at, even though it was super busy, we never felt crowded or, like, that there were, like, a ton of people around.
But I'd say definitely worth going to visit. You'll see something that you won't see anywhere else.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so then we finished up at Black Canyon of the Gunnison, and then on our way back home, we stopped at Colorado National Monument, like I mentioned earlier. And we only stopped there for like an hour. Just because we wanted to see what it was like and see what was there. And it was really cool.
Yeah, we decided that we really want to go back and actually camp and do the hikes, because they had a much bigger and better variety, I feel like, of those mid-level and easy hikes that, like, are our speed.
They had a lot of, like, mile round trip.
Yeah.
Hikes that were listed on the thing. So we just did a little walk by the visitor center out to see some of the canyon there.
Yeah.
But it's red rock, and there are some really cool rock formations. And then there's this drive that goes through the whole park that we did not do, and we probably wouldn't do just because of motion sickness. But if you can handle it, it sounds like a really cool drive, really pretty. So we'll definitely be back there at some point. Colorado National Monument wasn't one that was even like on our radar before we started planning this trip. But it's right outside Grand Junction, not very far.
Yeah, and it's basically as far as, I don't know what, Zion, Bryce, Arches,
from us. Yep.
From us, yeah. So it's just like one more of those kinds of places that we can go to that's basically within the same amount of time.
An easy drive. Okay, so it was been a great trip. Pretty awesome.